Okay, so this is part two. Again, we went through this in class, so I'll just kind of um, keep it relatively simple. So this time we're uploading a data set called online. So let's load this in with the usual loading routine. Click view, and we can see we have clothing, health, tech, and MISC. Okay. And you can see these are all continuous variables. And this is basically, we have different customers, we have the gender, and how much they're spending on different categories. So it's maybe the results of a customer service. This is online, there are people's online spending through different kind of categories. Okay, so let's just have a quick look at this. So let's just say we want to find out the average of each of these categories by gender. Now, remember, we could actually just type in, to get this, we could kind of mean, if we wanted the mean clothing spend, but then this would be for both males and females. Another way of doing this is we could do, for example, data.clothing, and then we could say my data.sex equals male. Okay, and we can see that though there's an overall average of about 169, the average is for males is just under 100, and we could do something similar for females. So again, this is just using, the binary notation that we did in the first week. For example, this one would have trues for all the females, and we could also have trues for all the males. And then, you know, say for example, we wanted to get all the females, you'll see it's only going to be a subset, those with true, that are picked out. And then we calculate the mean of males and females. But there's actually an easy way of doing it. I just wanted to show you that. There's a function called tapply, and what it will do is it will take some numeric data. So here we have my data clothing. We pass it a categorical variable. So here we have male or female. And then we give it a function, in this case mean, and what it will do is it'll apply the function to the values in the first parameter, splitting by the values in the second parameter. So we get the clothing. And you'll see it did exactly what I did before, but much more succinctly with both females and males. And then we could do this for let's just do them all together. We could do this for all four of the value columns in the data set. And see, we get the average clothing spend is much higher for females and males. Health is approximately even. Tech spend is higher for males than females. And then miscellaneous spend is higher for females than males. And I didn't create this data set. I guess it's being stereotyping a little bit here maybe, but again, it's just an example data set. So let's just see, we have data.frame. And what I've done here, this wasn't in the book, but we've got all this information. Let's put it in a nice table. And what you do when you create a data frame is you can type in data.frame or data frame, and then you can give it kind of columns of information. So all I've done is each of these four things I've put within data frame. So data frame, my first column, tapply for clothing, then for health, then for tech, and then for MISC. So all I'm doing exactly the same as I did before, but each of these pieces of information is going in a new column, and we'll see what we get. So we get each of these pieces of information in the column, and you see we've got for clothing, we have for health, for tech, and for miscellaneous. Now you see the column names are a bit strange because it gives the entire function. So what I'm saying is, look, what are my column names? So these are my 4 column names, and I'm actually now setting it to be this new vector. So the column names is a vector, so I can replace it. Remember, if I'm creating a vector from individual items, I use C. So I'm just creating this clothing, health, tech, and MISC. I'm creating this new vector. And I set it for the column names. Now let's look at results. And you can see here we've got the average spend for male and female with each of the categories. Let's make it look a little bit nicer. And what I can do is I can run, because everything in this table is continuous, I can do it for the whole data frame. There's a function called format that tells you how many decimal places to use. So I've got format, and then I pass this parameter n small that gives the number of decimal places. But in order for this to work, I need to kind of round my values first. So let's just kind of round here. And actually, that actually pretty much does it anyway. I probably didn't need the format, but I can then give it a text format with 2 decimal places. And my new results looks a bit better. The only thing I would actually say is, if you're going to be reusing this information and doing calculations on it, you really don't want to round until you do a final table formatting. Okay, so that was example 3.2 in the book, and I added a little extension where I put everything in the same data table.